We have to keep on top of the impacts of the reversal of Roe v. Wade. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. We have to stay on top of that. So, Virginia Republicans work to ensure cops can still have access to your menstrual data. Democrats accuse Republicans of seeking to imprison those obtaining abortions. So again, obviously, this was the biggest negative drawback of the reversal of Roe v. Wade is the further breakdown of women's just right to privacy. You know what I'm saying, and things like that. I mean, so many women that I know personally. I don't know the exact numbers on it, but um, a lot of women I know personally keep track of their menstrual cycles and like how often they have sex and things like that within apps and things along those lines. Like those apps can tell women like when their most fertile days are and things like that. So if uh, politicians, which completely goes against conservative ideology, but if politicians are able to get their hands on that type of information, well, it's just so personal and so deep into what it's just it's fucked up and it's gross, man. Like it's all right. So legislation intended to keep law enforcement from obtaining menstrual data held by period tracking apps has been shot down in Virginia this week. So again, and one thing I mentioned earlier too, just because the reversal of Roe is unpopular with just because Roe is unpopular with the broad general public, that doesn't mean that the Republican politicians have or will stop their attempts to pass these types of bills, which again is why it's important that we keep on top of these things. Okay, so the bill proposed by Senator Barbara A. Favola, she's a Democrat, passed the Democratic controlled Senate last week in a 31-9 vote, known as SB 852. The legislation was supported by every Democrat and 18 Republicans, according to the Washington Post. Despite its popular support, the bill was ultimately failed on Monday due to opposition from a Republican controlled subcommittee following objections from the administration of Governor Glenn Youngkin. Given that such data is not protected by the federal path, sorry, I'm getting a lot of emails and stuff right now. I apologize. My focus is a bit in a couple places. Given that such data is not protected by the federal health privacy law, HIPAA, Youngkin's Deputy Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Maggie Cleary, argued that law enforcement should still be allowed access. Currently, any health information or any app information is available via search warrant, Cleary said. We believe that should continue to be the case. Cleary also argued that allowing the bill, where did it go? Cleary also argued that allowing the bill to pass would undoubtedly open the door to put further limits on search warrants down the road. Oh yeah, she's so concerned about, and that's why it's just authoritarianism. Because it's like, you're supposed to be about people's freedom and people's rights and the Constitution and right to privacy and things along those lines. But at the same time, how can you say that, oh no, we don't want to block law enforcement from getting their hands on period tracking apps, because if we do, that could put further limits down the road for other more important things. Like, what more important things? Like, it's just complete nonsense. The bill, which the Youngkin administration advocated against, would have prohibited the issuance of a search warrant for electronically stored menstrual health data, the press release said. This legislation has been widely supported by women's health and pro-choice advocacy groups over fears that apps used by women to track their menstrual cycles could be used as evidence against her if she were to be charged with a crime for seeking reproductive health care. And again, like, it's just like this has now become, oh, well, Joe Biden, he's really not, he's not up for the task. I guess that's really the best answer to that. You know what I'm saying? He's just really not up to the task. Joe Biden is a career politician. He's very old. So like he's pretty comfortable in his place. So that has, it's not even just Biden, but the Democratic Party at large has had many opportunities to further codify Roe in a variety of ways, but they didn't do it because um, that's really not it's just really not on their agenda. They don't really care. That's not who put them there. That's not why they're there. Okay, so Democratic Party of Virginia Press Secretary Liam Watson went one step further by describing Youngkin as eager to imprison women and doctors, and these were his comments. Governor Youngkin's eagerness to imprison women and doctors for seeking and providing reproductive care is a dangerous step, Watson said. It is exceptionally disquieting to see Governor Youngkin oppose a bill that would protect women from having their private health data weaponized against them in a court of law. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And again, that's why it's important for us to keep our eyes on these types of things because it's not stopping.